Today I have a budgeting video for you. So I haven't done one of these. Well, I did one a few weeks ago. If you've not seen that budget update video, I will put that in a card above. So that was to give you an update on how my snowball was going, what our focus is for 2021. Basically, I had not updated y'all since January with how the budget was going, and that is because things were kind of moving along smoothly, and I decided to give you an update. So in the comments of that video, or somebody reached out to me and said, I would like to know how you pay your bills. How do you do all of your bill paying? And then I stopped and I thought, you know what, it's been a few years since I did that. I think it was 2 years ago that I did my bill paying system, which my system is roughly the same as it was then. It's probably almost exactly the same, but today is payday and I thought I would take you through that entire process in case you are new to the community, in case you did not see that first video. So we're just going to walk through how I actually pay bills on bill day. So we get paid twice a month, the 10th and the 25th of every month. So now what I'm going to do is turn the camera around. I want to share with you where I keep my bills, how I keep all of that organized, and we're going to actually pay them. And I'm going to make sure to keep all of my private information private. So I had to close those blinds because it was giving a glare on everything. So this is my little office area. I wouldn't say little office area. It's expanding out as my sticker shop grows. So this is where I keep all of my bills. So up here in this very top area, I have had this same bill organization system for, y'all, I can't tell you how many years. Probably, at least probably 6 years. We've lived in this house 6 years. And I've used this system before we got here, so I'm going to say 8 years. So I've used this same system 8 years. I just can't believe that. That's crazy, but it must mean that it works. So I've got 2 organizers here that basically holds all of my bill things. So this right here, well, let's start up here. So this right here, in case you were wondering, I don't have any bills up here, but this is where I keep receipts and all of that. So this is an IKEA Kvissle, Kvissle. It is a magazine holder, but I have Erin Condren folders in here. Kate and Derek have a folder. Nathan and I have a folder. Coupons go here. Receipts go here. I do go through receipts ever so often. And then anything that I need to file is here. So this is technically not part of my bill paying system. And I have a tub on the floor down here. I don't think you can see any of my information. You can't. When I pay bills, they go in this tub and then I go through them and shred them. So I don't keep everything. Y'all, I used to keep everything. Like I would pay stuff, I would keep it in a binder for an entire year, and then I would shred it. And then I realized that was a lot of paper clutter. Why am I keeping all of this when all I have to do is go to my online accounts and I can pull up the information. So once it clears my bank, I will put it in the shredder. So I don't keep any paperwork for bills because it's all available online. So as you see, that bin is getting pretty large. So I need to go through there and declutter some stuff, shred some stuff. So that is that. So the tub down there, that is my mail organizer. And then this right here is the biggest lifesaver. This is a Pottery Barn 2-drawer organizer. It's called the Bedford 2-drawer organizer, I think it is. And yes, it is a little bit expensive. I want to say it's like $60 or $70. And I was really on the fence about purchasing it, but y'all have had it for like 8 years. So it is definitely worth the money. I don't know, Home Goods might have something like this. I got mine from Pottery Barn. It's been to like 2 or 3 different houses and it still looks pretty decent. So this is what helps me keep all of my bills organized. So I have a drawer that says 10th and a drawer that says 25th. So when I get an actual bill in the mail, a lot of bills now I just get emails, but if I get a physical bill in the mail, I will just open the drawer that it goes in and be like, okay, we pay that bill on the 10th. Drop it in the 10th. And then when it comes around to bill paying time on the 10th, all I have to do is open this drawer, pull everything out, and I'm ready to pay bills. Same thing for the 25th. Now, in addition to that, I also keep in here anything for tax time. Like if I make a donation, they'll give you like a little slip, and I will keep the slip in here. Then I know exactly where it is. When tax season comes around, I'm like, oh, I've got to go get all of my donation slips. So I always keep them, I think normally in the 25th drawer. Just in the bottom, I know where they are. I just come and grab them and can go. So that goes in here, bills 10th and 25th. So once those get paid and they have made it down here to this tub, once it has cleared my bank, I will shred those. So that is my first area for bill paying. Y'all, these things keep the clutter off my counters. So I have a place for everything, and everything has a place. So those are where my bills go before they get paid and where they go after they get paid. So the next set of things are my notebooks. So I write pretty big, and I cannot use those little bitty checkbook registers that they give you with your checks. So I use the Erin Condren Petite Line Journals. So there are 3 right here. And I got all 3 of these out. Normally these stay in my work bag. So this is the work bag that I've been using right now. But I'm on summer break, so I've been switching up backpacks and things. So this is the Jujubee Be Packed in the Disney floral print. So I am a Jujubee affiliate, and that link is always in the description. I love this size. It's like the perfect size. I will link the video where I shared this and how I packed it in a card above in case you're curious about it. So I just think this is the perfect size for a backpack. It's not too big. I do have some of them that are pretty large, but for one to carry every day, I think the Be Packed is a great size. It's not too bulky, so it's got a pretty slim profile, as you see. Okay, so I have 3 notebooks. I did have 4, but I finally got to where when I was balancing my checkbook, I didn't have to mark anything off from that other one. So this right here is my checkbook register for my home. This is my budget planner, so we're going to open this up in just a second. And then this is for my brand. So my sticker shop and my brand, I have a separate checking account for that. I'm not going to get into that today, but it does have a separate checkbook register for that, and that's what this is. So I just want to talk about it since it was sitting here. So the way that I do this, oh, and I almost forgot the most important thing. So I have a document that I switch between these 2 drawers. And if you've been here for any length of time, you know exactly what I'm about to pull out. I cannot keep up with what bill needs to be paid at what time. So I have used this for 8 years. No joke. 8 years. So this is the first thing that I pull out when I'm paying bills. And I had somebody ask me, well, why don't you just do 2 of these, one of these for one drawer and the other for the other drawer? I could do that. And y'all, this is available in my Etsy shop if you are curious and would like to purchase it. Here's the thing. I like to physically take the same thing out and have to move it to another drawer. It tells my brain that I've accomplished a task. So it helps me. If this was in the 10th drawer and then one was in the 25th drawer, I wouldn't feel they were connected, if that makes sense. So what I did was I have all of the months of the year over here. And then I have 2 boxes here for the pay periods, 10th and 25th. So all the bills that I pay on the 10th get written under the 10th, and all the bills for the 25th get written under the 25th. So it looks like I pay a lot more, or we pay a lot more on the 10th, but actually we don't because our mortgage is so much. So the way that I did this to make it to where it's equaled out, because at the beginning we got paid once a month, but then when we moved, so when we lived in Missouri, we got paid once a month. So it didn't really matter. Everything was going to get paid at one time. So when we moved here, we got paid on the 10th and the 25th. So I made it, I had to call some of these companies and see if we could flip-flop some dates. So I made it to where what we needed to pay was equal for both. So it's roughly about equal. So it did take a while to do that, but it has helped my stress level a whole lot. So if you are like that and you need to balance some bills, just call the company and ask. The worst thing they can do is tell you no. So then you will also notice the snowball. So the snowball right now, I'm going to deduct it out, but it's just going to sit here because I don't know if we're going to use it for the beach vacation. I think right now that's probably what we're going to do. So the snowball is roughly $500. So I'll put 500, and then on the 25th that will be 500. So we'll go to vacation with $1,000 cash. So that's how that's going to work. Then once July hits, then that is when the Disney trip for December will start getting paid. So everything works in cycles. So we did Kate's cheer trips first, and now we're working on beach vacation, and then we'll go into the Disney vacation. So this is what we're going to pay today. We've got all of these bills up here that we're going to pay. So now you're probably wondering how I'll record these. So I use my budget planner probably differently than a lot of people do. I was using an Erin Condren monthly planner, and then I realized it was way too much planner for my needs. So I'll leave my budget planner video in a card above. Y'all, this is a petite line journal that I have just divided out, added tabs to the side, and made it into a budget planner. I do have budget stickers that are coming that are going to match how I use my budget planner, which is differently than most people. So I have these snowball pages done for that. So now I need to work on the individual accounts and the monthly bill tracker. So the next section is the monthly bill tracker. So all I did was I took a sheet, as you see, and it says June 10th, June 25th. So I went through January through December, and I did 2 pages for each month. So every bill that I pay will be listed and the amount. So how I make these two work together is I will first look on here. I'll go and pay like the Honda bill first. So that is for my car. Once I pay it, I will check mark it off. I will come over here. I will write account amount. I'll write Honda and that amount. Then I'll go to the second one, which is AirEvac. AirEvac gets taken out immediately. I check mark that off, write AirEvac and the amount. So that is what I'm going to do right now. This part I am not going to show everything because this is where the amounts are. So once I get it all paid, I will come back and share with you what the sheet looks like minus the amounts. Okay, about 45 minutes later or an hour, I now have all of my bills paid. I've got them all written down here, and we're good to go. Now I've got the snowball at the end, and I did write down a few things that I have not gotten in the mail yet, like this is St. Bernard. Don't mind it, it's a mess. That's from my surgery last year. So I went ahead and wrote it down, and I deducted it in my checkbook, but I haven't received that bill yet. I went ahead and marked it, so I would mark that amount, because I know it's coming in for this pay period, and as soon as it comes in I can pay it. So I like to go ahead and deduct things even if it is not here yet. So that is all done. So I've got all of this marked off, I think. Oh, one other thing. So I'm not going to mark the Bank of America off yet because that's my husband's credit card, and I do not know how much he owes on that. So that will be the last thing that I check mark off here and that I write down here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this document. I got it out of the 10th drawer, and now I'm going to put it in the 25th drawer. So when it comes to the June 25th payday, all I have to do is open the drawer and pull out all the bills and that monthly bill tracker. So that is in my Etsy shop, and if it's not listed, let me know and I will relist it. I think it should still be on there. So now all of that is done. Everything is marked off, and y'all, that is how my bill paying process goes. That is it. So I've got all of the other things put over here, all of the little slips that go with the bills, and now I can get my wallet put up and move my budget planner up and put my checkbook register away. Before I get off here, I do want to talk about a few things dealing with paying bills and budgeting that just kind of light bulb moment in my head that I wanted to share that I get asked a lot. So I'm going to share it in this video. So we do not do a zero-based budget. So what does that mean? Zero-based budget means that everything has a category. So you would take food and it would get an amount. Gas would get an amount. You know, a fun group, groceries, all of that. I will tell you that a few years ago, We did try that. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, we tried it. And it was the most complicating system because my husband was in charge of the percentages and the amounts. So it would require me to balance the checkbook in my checkbook register and then let him know when he put it on Excel. Then he had this little calculation thing. It was the most complex thing that we had done, and I'm like, this is just not working. We tried it for a few months and it wasn't. So you might be wondering, how do you know how much you're going to spend on groceries and gas and all of that? Basically what we have left in our checking account from the 10th to the 25th is how much we have. So we know roughly how much we need to spend at the grocery store. If we go over 1 week, we know that next week we don't need to get nearly as many things or to do a really precise list. Don't go over, don't get as many, you know, fun snacks and all of that. So we just kind of work that way. So after we pay all of our bills, all of the bills get marked down on payday. Anything else that's left, that's what we have for food and gas and anything else. So we pay our bills on our payday, which is the 10th and the 25th, and we know whatever is left in the checking account is what we have until the next paycheck. So if we have to, you know, not go out to eat as much, which normally we don't really go out to eat, we pick up food, that's what we'll do. So it just works for us because we've kind of gotten into a routine. We know how much this costs, we know how much that costs, but I will say that it might get a little bit. There's my French fries are done in the oven. I'll get those in a minute. Okay, so I will tell you that I have seen a little bit of a difference this paycheck, and I'm sure in the next couple of paychecks, who knows how long, I'm going to see a reflection of that too. If y'all have noticed, things have gone up at the grocery store. Gas is astronomical. It is very bad. It is costing a lot of money to fill up our vehicles. So when we go out of town, we used to take my husband's truck. Like this weekend, we're going to my sister's. We used to take his truck, but his truck costs 2 times as much as my vehicle does. I have a Honda CR-V. If you've not seen that vehicle, if you've not seen that video where I talk about that, I'll leave that in a card above. So we will be taking my car this time. So we are going to have to make some adjustments probably based off of how the prices are going up. I think it's affecting everybody. I've already noticed. This paycheck has been a little bit bad, I will say, or I would say the May 25th paycheck was a little bit bad. I'm going to be honest. We had to dip into savings a little bit to pay because we went over our amount for our checking account. So I have a cushion amount in the checking account. So it's kind of like a buffer in case we go over like we did this paycheck. It kind of will just subtract from that. So we've kept some of our savings money in our checking account as a buffer, if that makes sense. So we're going to have to sit down and probably talk about that. So my husband and I usually do the checkbook because I choose to, not because I have to, because I choose to. And then I'll discuss it with him. So sometimes when there's issues like this paycheck, we will sit down and we'll have a discussion. And that's definitely going to happen now. Because y'all, we do really good on our budget, but things like this are out of our control. We can't help that the gas prices have gone so high. We can't help that the food prices have gone so high. So we'll just come together, we'll talk about what the numbers are looking like, if we've spent too much going out to eat, if we've spent too much at the grocery store. So all of that's going to have to be discussed this time. So you guys, that is all for this bill paying and budgeting video. I hope it's helped you. I know I've talked a lot, but I wanted to explain everything. If you have any comments or questions, leave that in the comments below. Y'all don't know how helpful that is to me. I never know what budgeting videos to share. So leave that in the comments below. And I will mention before I get off here, somebody did ask me about budgeting for Disney, how to do a Disney trip. I'm gonna leave that video on a card above because I've already talked about that. I had 2 or 3 different videos in 2019 and 2020 dealing with our Disney trip. I broke down how much it cost, how I save for it, and all of that. So I'll leave that video in a card above. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you give it a big thumbs up. By giving my videos a thumbs up, it shows YouTube you're engaged and you like my content, which means they'll start suggesting it and recommending it to more people, which means our community will grow and will continue to spread positivity. Also, I hope you hit that red subscribe button to become a part of our community and our mission to get organized on a budget and with a plan together. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and until next time, bye you guys.